There are two kinds of Fallout fans right now. The first kind still boot up or try to boot up Fallout 4 or New Vegas every few months because nothing else scratches that same weird post-apocalyptic itch. And the second kind are sitting there angry, watching Bethesda slowly monetize the franchise into a theme park and asking, okay, but what do I play instead? There's nothing quite like Fallout. Well, this video is for both groups. I'm going to show you 6 games that hit a lot of different pieces of what makes Fallout special, and then one honorable mention at the end, which I think is exciting, but it's still very new. Fallout is a mix of RPG systems, satire, exploration, survival, weird quests, and post-nuclear atmosphere. I've picked games that capture that identity as much as possible, either through story, world building, mechanics, or tone. I'm splitting this into 2 groups. The first group are the closest Fallout successors. The second group are modern alternatives from 2024 and 2025. And then I'll also share one honorable mention for a total of 7 games. Okay, let's start with the 3 closest Fallout successors. These are games that feel like Fallout's cousins. You play them and immediately go, yeah, okay, I see it. Game 1, The Outer Worlds. Let's start with the obvious one, The Outer Worlds. Developed by Obsidian, who literally helped define the original Fallout identity. This one takes the corporate dystopia angle and runs with it. The setting is the Halcyon system, colonized by megacorporations who treat their workers like disposable office furniture. You wake up from cryosleep, everything's gone sideways, and your job is to wade through corporate PR disasters with a gun and a smile. Mechanically, it's Fallout DNA. Branching quests, faction politics, companions with personal quests, persuasion checks, dark humor, and the famous "we know corporations are awful, but we're going to make you laugh at it" tone. Instead of VATS, you get tactical time dilation, basically corporate-approved slow motion, where you can target limbs and cripple enemies, blind them, etc. It's not as tactical as New Vegas, but it feels great in real-time combat. The RPG side is surprisingly flexible. The flaw system is genius. Take a permanent debuff in exchange for extra perk points. So if you panic around robots, the game will literally give you a "you are terrified of robots" flaw in exchange for perks. It's a nice compromise between role-playing and power gaming. Here's where it overlaps with Fallout. First-person shooter RPG hybrid, faction politics, dark humor, companions that talk during quests, ending changes based on choices, weaknesses. It's shorter than people expect. That's probably the biggest complaint. It feels like a super high quality Fallout DLC rather than a full RPG marathon. Some planets feel a bit empty, but what's there is strong. If you like New Vegas or you're tired of Fallout 4 treating dialogue like an optional comic book speech bubble, The Outer Worlds is one of the easiest recommendations on this list. Game 2, Metro Exodus. Okay, Metro Exodus is not Fallout with factions and settlements. It is Fallout's "the world actually ended" cousin. Set in Russia after nuclear war, this game takes survival seriously. You're not some super soldier clearing bandits with a fat man. You're Artyom, trying to find a future outside the metro tunnels. The game spans an entire year of travel, through deserts, snowfields, forests. Each zone feels like a miniature survival sandbox stitched into a story-driven FPS. The thing Metro does better than almost every post-apocalyptic game is emotional weight. You actually care about your crew on the Aurora. They're not exposition NPCs, they're people. When good or bad things happen to them, it hits harder than anything Fallout has done since maybe 2010. Mechanically, it's scavenging, crafting, stealth, and harsh combat. Your guns break down, your masks crack, filters run out, and bullets matter. There's also a karma system that quietly tracks your behavior, leading to different endings without shoving "you are being good" or "you are being bad" in your face. Overlap with Fallout, post-nuclear atmosphere, surviving in hostile environments, scavenging and crafting weapons, mutants and factions, consequences for actions, weaknesses, If you're obsessed with giant open worlds and fetch quest loops, Metro is more curated and linear. You can explore, but it's focused. Also, the stealth AI can be hit or miss, but the narrative power makes up for it. If you ever wished Fallout took itself seriously for 5 minutes, Metro delivers. Game 3, Horizon Zero Dawn. Horizon Zero Dawn is the wildcard here. It's post-apocalyptic, but instead of nukes and super mutants, it's tribes and robot dinosaurs. You play as Aloy, trying to figure out why humanity collapsed and how the hell we ended up with Terminator wildlife roaming the forests. It's a gorgeous open world, snowy mountains, overgrown cities, ruined facilities, and the traversal feels smooth and modern. You climb, you run, you sneak through grass, and then you wire a tripcaster between 2 trees and watch a 3-ton murder lion explode into scrap metal. The combat is actually stat-driven in a way that Fallout players will respect. Weapons have different damage types, you can target machine weak points, modify gear, craft ammo on the fly. It's dynamic and tactical instead of point-and-click shooting. Overlap with Fallout. Open world exploration, crafting and weapon mods, environmental storytelling in ruins, main and side quests, plus errands, dialogue wheels Skyrim style. Weaknesses. The machine hunting loop can get repetitive if you don't experiment with different weapons. The human combat is also weaker, and while the story is good, it takes a while before it really reveals how deep the lore goes. If you want a post-apocalypse that isn't miserable or beige, Horizon gives you that exploration satisfaction without the melancholy hangover. Okay, now we're moving on to the second group of games, the modern picks that came out in 2024 and 2025. This is for people who want something current and new. Game 4, Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl. This is the hardcore pick. Stalker 2 finally launched in late 2024, and if Fallout is adventure with optional suffering, Stalker is suffering with optional adventure. The Chernobyl exclusion zone is hostile, dynamic, and unpredictable. Radiation anomalies, mutants, bandits, and that's before the blowouts start cooking the landscape. There are survival stats like hunger and sleep, guns degrade, armor wears down, and the zone never stops trying to kill you. Exploration is organic, no constant quest marker hand-holding. You pick up clues, talk to stalkers at camps, discover nodes, and piece things together. This is closer to what some Fallout veterans wanted Fallout 4 to become. Immersive sim mechanics, grounded survival, meaningful resource scarcity, and factions that don't feel like Disneyland sets. Overlap with Fallout. Post-apocalyptic scavenging, radiation systems. Factions plus anomalies. Weird science. Survival crafting, non-linear exploration. Weaknesses. It's not for casuals. Stalker expects you to figure stuff out. It's also more FPS survival than RPG, so if you need companions and branching dialogue, this isn't that. But if you ever said, I wish Fallout punished me more, congratulations. Wish granted. Game 5, Atomfall. Atomfall is the indie dark horse of this list. Released in 2025, it's set in an alternate history 1960s England where a real nuclear disaster turned the Lake District into a quarantine zone. The entire structure feels like what happens if someone took Fallout's idea of post-nuclear society rebuilding and stripped out the theme park energy. There is no fast travel. The map is interconnected like a Metroidvania. You find tools that unlock new areas. You talk to NPCs to figure out leads instead of following floating arrows. It respects curiosity, which is rare these days. Survival is present but not overbearing. You manage health and heart rate. Sprint too much or fight too hard and your vision darkens. Sound warps and you need to rest. Ammunition is intentionally scarce and encouraged stealth. You can kill everyone if you want, or kill no one at all. People who loved Fallout's you figure it out approach, Fallout 1, Fallout 2, New Vegas in hardcore, tend to appreciate Atomfall more than critics did. Overlap with Fallout, slow burn post-nuclear atmosphere, open-ended mission structure, NPC dialogue shaping story discovery. first-person scavenging, light RPG mechanics, plus crafting. Weaknesses. It's not polished like a AAA blockbuster, the pacing can feel slow, it's not guided, so if you're addicted to Ubisoft-style checklists, you'll hate it. But for the right kind of player, it scratches an itch nobody else is scratching right now. Game 6, Dying Light, The Beast. This one leans into horror. Dying Light, The Beast dropped in 2025 and takes place in a forest inspired by the Swiss Alps. You're Kyle Crane after 13 years of experiments, so the premise is already darker than most games on this list. The new twist is Beast Mode, a transformation that turns you into an unhinged melee monster with massive power at the cost of precision and control. Daytime is scavenging, crafting, stealth. Nighttime turns everything into a sprint for your life simulator. Fallout has radiation storms that make you go inside. The Beast has nighttime that makes you question your life choices. Combat is gory, improvisational, and genuinely unpredictable. Bladed versus blunt weapons matter, enemies react differently, and special infected have nasty mechanics like invisibility or ambush behavior. Plus, 4-player co-op with shared narrative progression, something Fallout fans have been begging for since 2015. Overlap with Fallout. Scavenging plus crafting, day-night environmental dangers, post-apocalyptic societies and factions, resource management under pressure, dynamic combat choices, weaknesses. If you hate horror, tension, or being chased, this isn't your game. The story is serviceable, but not New Vegas, and it's more about moment-to-moment survival than RPG roleplay. But if your favorite part of Fallout is creeping through the glowing sea with 3 stim packs, this is the 2025 upgrade. Okay, and now let's talk about my honorable mention, The Outer Worlds 2. Outer Worlds 2 gets the honorable mention because it's still fresh and needs more time for the dust to settle. Released in late 2025, it expands the RPG side significantly. Bigger faction conflict, more interdimensional weirdness, and more skill-driven dialogue. It also finally came to PlayStation, which means more people actually get to play the thing. If you loved Fallout for dialogue trees, persuasion checks, speech builds, and role-playing your way out of fights instead of into them, Outer Worlds 2 deserves to be on your radar. I'm not bumping it into the main 6 because it still needs patches and balancing at the time of me writing this, and most of you haven't played it yet. Ask me again in a year, and it might become a proper successor to your title. So those are 6 Fallout alternatives that actually work without treating you like a beta tester or a mobile whale. Each one hits a different slice of the Fallout formula. Outer Worlds, Fallout but corporate and funny. Metro Exodus, Fallout but serious and emotional. Horizon Zero Dawn, Fallout but gorgeous and mechanical. Stalker 2, Fallout but hardcore survival. Atomfall, Fallout but indie and grounded. Dying Light, The Beast, Fallout but chased through the woods at midnight. And then Outer Worlds 2 as the honorable mention wildcards. If there's interest, I can do more of these, like CRPG-style Fallout replacements, settlement building replacements, or even Fallout but weird games, because there's a whole wave of underground stuff most people have never heard of. And I actually enjoy doing deep dive research like this, considering I'm a video game nerd, but also a nerd in general. Anyway, let me know if I missed some Fallout alternatives and which ones you think I should have included but didn't. Until next time, take care.